Hello and welcome to Green Pass Gaming. I am your host Flap, and welcome to Green Pass Gaming's Midweek Catch-up show with me, host Flap, and we have the entire GPG crew with us tonight. Hello chaps, how are we all doing?
Hello, not too bad, thank you. Hope you're doing well.
Good, that's good. I thought you'd all nodded off then. Had a glorious day in the UK today. We've been celebrating. It's been a bank holiday in the UK today. We've also got tomorrow off as well, celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, 70 years on the throne. So lots of pomp and ceremony that's going on. Anyone that's from across the seas from the UK that's been watching some of these things, it's completely bonkers. And to be honest, I don't think any of us in this country understand it either, but it's quite cool to watch. And yeah, been having a great day. And like I say, the celebrations go on pretty much all weekend. So that's fantastic. But slightly back on topic for our particular show. Yes, we thought we would put together an Xbox Showcase predictions show in typical GPG fashion. Not necessarily in the normal kind of style. I know lots of other people will probably be covering this, but we are actually going to be nailing our predictions to the flag mask, to the flagpole. And what we probably do is we are actually doing a post-show live broadcast on Box and Burgers channel. So what we might do is actually take our predictions list with us, and after the show, just see actually how correct we were guessing some of these things. So it'll be quite interesting to see that. So before we do that, chat, thank you very much for being here. What I will do very quickly is flash on the screen all of the topics that we will be placing into, whether they're going to be at the Xbox Game Showcase. So we're definitely going to be there, maybe there, absolutely not going to be there. And Keely has it, which is basically means it's going to be in the Summer Games Fest at some point, not necessarily in the Xbox Game Showcase. So chat, please let us know. Have a quick look through the list. If there's anything we've forgotten, anything we've missed, now is the time to let us know. I think between Scott and I, we've kind of scoured the internet for some wild and crazy rumours that are out there, and we've put them together. So like I say, if you have a look, let us know. Whilst you're doing that, we'll just do a quick round of introductions. We haven't done this for a while. We haven't had the whole crew together for a while. Pucks, I hear you're slightly under the weather. Are you going to make it to the end of the show, my friend?
Yeah, no, I'm recovering now. That's why I'm not on cams today. I've been nursing a bit of a sore throat and cough over the last 2-3 days, but I'm on the other end of it now. It's only like a couple days thing, like usual. I rarely get ill, so it's a bit of a shame. But that's how things are, unfortunately. So no, I've all cough mixtured up, and I just took some before we came on. I've got a glass of water next to me, so now I'm ready to go. Thanks.
Fantastic, excellent. Scott, thank you for putting this list together. Anyone that's watching, we use a website called Tier Maker. It's all free, fantastic. It's great fun doing these kind of things, and obviously you've probably seen things like this where they kind of they put sort of normally weapons and stuff like that into tiers, god level, and all of those kind of things. But we thought we'd use it for our own slightly different purpose for tonight. Scott, thanks for putting this together, mate. How have you been? I haven't spoken for a while.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tier Makers, it's a little bit of fun, isn't it? We've had this before, and sometimes the conversation gets a little spicy, a little salty at times, when we're disputing. I think this will be a little bit more chill, but hopefully it'll be a lot of fun as we get excited for, 10 days from now, I think, until the game showcase. So really not too long. So yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
Fantastic, thank you. And we've got some great things. We've already got one that's missing, Scott. I don't know if we want to put this in. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, obviously recently announced. Before I do that, chat, thank you for being here. Wow, we've got so many people here. VJ, thanks for being here. BMG, MyCirco, Ash Reviews, Gabes, thank you. Like I say, Andrew Cullinane, sorry, I absolutely butchered your surname. I do apologise. Andrew, thank you and welcome to the chat. Yeah, let us know if there's anything missing. Have a quick look at the list. Now's the time to add it if there's anything missing. Yeah, so let's see. Luke, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show. Yeah, we'll go through the list. Is there anything that you think we're missing off this list?
Don't think so. I mean, well, we'll see, won't we? Something might come from the ether that we've missed, but yeah, lots of good list.
Fantastic, excellent. Okay, is there anything else that we're missing? We'll probably ask you, Pucks, to look after the chat if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, okay.
BMT says Barbie's horse riding.
Yeah. Okay. Are we able to put those in, Scott? Let's Okay, Doug. In fact, Stubbs has just come up with a good one. Gears Collection. Oh, okay. No,
I think that's in there, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
we've got Gears Collection in there, and we've got Gears 6 as well as 2. We don't have. I think we've even got a new Coalition project that's not Gears in there as well. So I think we've got all bases covered for the Coalition on this at the minute.
Yeah, we should do. So. Fantastic. Right. Well, are you able to add those couple that's in the chat, Scott?
Yeah, we've got GoldenEye just being brought in there by BMG. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
BMG. So I think we've got a couple more to add.
I'm
not putting Barbie's Horse Adventure in there. That's staying out.
That's fine. That's fair enough. Excellent.
And not Gears Cross Barbie, I assume either, right?
No Barbie. No Barbie.
Excellent.
We don't have a bin category this time, unfortunately. That can join 12 minutes in the bin. All right, give me 1 minute there, Flap, and they will be in there for you, mate.
No worries. Right, we're nearly ready to go now. We're just going to do this collectively, and again, chat, please get involved. What we're going to do is just going to pick one out the list, and collectively we're going to kind of decide between us where we think it's going to go on the list. And the categories are definitely at the show, maybe at the show, definitely not at the show, and Keeley has it, which basically means it's not going to be in the Xbox Game Showcase, but will be part of the Summer Games Fest in general. So, fantastic. Let us know when I can hit the refresh button.
Refresh there, mate.
And there they are. Fantastic. It's as easy as that. Excellent. Okay, so I think what we'll do, like I say, we'll probably pick random ones out of the list. We'll probably pick some obvious ones and just have a bit of a chat around each game. And I say, again, chat, just let us know where you think this is going. So go on, Scott, you go first. Pick one out of the list, and let's go for some obvious ones first.
Pick the obvious ones. Because I guess there's some of them where there's probably not an awful lot to say about them. So I think nice and easy, top of the pops there, Flap, Starfield. I think, it's in the logo, it's in the image, it's going to be there. In some form, so I think that's locked and loaded for the show, isn't it?
Pretty much. What do you think we're going to get out of it? Are we actually going to see gameplay footage? Do you think an actual in-game footage? And what do you reckon?
I bloody well hope so. If this is the one thing this show needs is gameplay. So any of these games that we show talk about here, unless it's like an unannounced game, like a project game. If it's going to be there, it's got to be there with gameplay. In my opinion, that's really what Xbox have lacked in the past. That I think they need to show. So I don't think it's going to be one of Todd Howard's usual 20-minute deep dives. I think it'll be something a little bit smaller. Maybe we'll get that a little bit later. But I think definitely gameplay of Starfield will be there.
Look, do you think that they've had to scale back, and obviously Redfall? Do you think they've scaled back what they were going to bring to the show, or not?
Go on, look. It's an interesting question.
You go on, Scott, and I'll follow up.
I was just going to say, I guess it depends on when they made the decision to delay the bloody game, because the announcement of the show and the delay came very close together. I think it was maybe 2 weeks or so after they announced this show. They delayed the game, so I think it really depends on, did they know they were going to delay the game when they announced the show? And if so, hopefully they've no plan for it. Or did they have to do a lot of rejigging of the actual show after they made that decision for the announcement? So,
when it was first announced, we pretty much said that, didn't we? It was kind of chicken and egg. What comes first? Did they decide that they're not going to, like you say, they're going to delay the game and then scale back on the presentation in the showcase, or are they still going to go full steam ahead? But yeah, interesting. Stubbs just put in there, says he doesn't think we're going to see the game as it's not ready, so he thinks we're going to get more CGI. That'd be interesting, and to be honest, if we do, that'd be really disappointing.
Yeah, definitely. It's in the logo of the bloody show.
Yeah,
it was meant to, and that's the thing. And if it is allegedly coming out in the first half of next year, it's still less than 12 months away, or approximately 12 months max. Where you would like to think they've got a decent gameplay segment to show.
Yeah, but Pux, would you be a bit pissed off if you just got CGI out of Starfield? Because, like you say, that would really, indicate perhaps how far out this game might actually be.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't quite agree with that statement. Even if a game's been delayed and is not ready, I don't necessarily think that means that no gameplay can be shown, because we know this thing's been cooking for a good several years now. We haven't seen anything up to date for the last at least 2 years since we've even known it's existed. It is. I mean, we know it's coming next year, so I personally believe we should see something this year, even if it's just, I think as Scott or Luke said, like even if it's just like a small 2-3 minute snippet of roughly what how it plays and what it looks like, just enough to get the internet going absolutely crazy and doing deep analysis videos on a 2-minute teaser video of some gameplay. I think we should at least be shown something, given how much hype seems to be surrounding this game, even though the world knows nothing about what it is.
Yeah, no, completely agree.
Point, we should see something now.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think if Stubbs is right, if we get a CGI thing, I think it's going to piss a lot of people off, and it's going to get them a little bit worried. I think, because it's like, well, hang on a minute, you said first half of next year, and if you can't even show any sort of gameplay footage, like you say, it's been in production long enough, then is this going to be by Q2 next year? Perhaps not, but yeah, let's see how that one. Should we just?
I just wanted. Sorry, Flap. I know Luke had something to say just on the Starfield thing, so just wanted to jump across to Luke.
Yeah, I think probably just echo what people had said, in that it'd be very disappointing if they didn't show something substantial from Starfield. I don't necessarily think Todd Howard has to go up and do a 20-minute spiel and deep dive into mechanics, but you need something. You need a good few minutes dedicated to it, because I mean, as Scott said, it's in the logo. So it suggests a fairly significant presence, and I think that's what needs to happen. So but yeah, it's really difficult to know, I guess, where the kind of state of the game generally at the moment, because it's had such a significant delay. So
do you think, depending on what they show in the show, will actually give us as the community a kind of a feel for where they are in the development process of it?
Yeah, I think so. I think in my head, what I expect is maybe just a 2-3 minute trailer with kind of some gameplay mixed in. Something along the lines of the God of War Ragnarok trailer, right, where it's kind of story trailer, but also it has scenes of gameplay, something like that. Or somewhere between that and halfway house between that and Todd Howard describing the game. So but I think at minimum it needs that sort of trailer. It can't have just another teaser.
I agree. I think that would, like you say, I think that would just about satiate people's appetite for this game, and tide us over, and perhaps give us some element of confidence that this is actually going to land by June next year. But should we just while we're there, should we kind of stick Redfall in as well, because obviously they kind of paired up. Redfall was actually due before Starfield, wasn't it, in terms of launch window? So I'm guessing potentially it should be a little bit further into development, and possibly, there's a higher chance that we would actually see sort of some in-game stuff. Do you think?
I guess again, you would hope so. It was due out this year, so you've got to think that they've got something gameplay-wise to show. Again, if it's coming early next year, they should have something to show us gameplay-wise, even if it's again just a small gameplay trailer.
I personally thought this might have fallen into the maybe category, but.
Maybe
really?
Yeah, I'm not 100% that we would necessarily see Redfall stuff.
But it was due out summer this year, Pucks.
I know, but I feel like it's more of a. It's probably not fair to say it's a bit of a niche. I just feel like it's got a limited market in terms of the target audience. I don't feel like it's a game that everybody's going to be leaping on. I certainly aren't. I don't know. I just don't get the impression it's like the kind of. Not to say we wouldn't see anything around this season. I just don't. I think maybe Akili has it. I would have thought. But...
Really? It's got to be. No, it's got to be Xbox. If anyone, wasn't it due in August or September this year? I mean, it wasn't that far out, was it?
They just said summer.
Did they? Yeah, but I mean, summer kind of ends in September, doesn't it? I mean, October isn't summer, is it? So. Yeah, we could have only been a few months out from its official launch window, surely. But well. We'll see. Okay, they're quite obvious ones, aren't they? I think the meat on the bone with this particular topic is going to be some of these other ones in there. Puck's gone.
I put a game in the red. Yeah, I'm going to put one in the red because I saw it in the chat. Ash Reviews Games asked about it. Everwild. asking what it is. And
Right.
for those people that are wondering, this is the Rare game, which kind of looked like Sea of Thieves, but it was all on land with kind of mystical deer creatures and whatnot. And then there was some news a while back that this thing had been almost stuck in a bit of like pre-production hell, I guess, that they're not quite knowing where they want the game to go. And there are apparent rumors that it's been restarted and they don't even know what the game's going to be anymore. And I think it's almost got to a point when this game's going to be so far off if it even is a thing. Because Sea of Thieves is almost had a third lease of life, I like to say, because they had a bit of a rough launch. Then it started doing the whole adventures thing, and then it's getting even better, like even more big, like quote unquote single player adventure type stuff. And the game's only getting bigger. I just feel like that its success, in a way, I feel like is pushing Everworld slightly further away. And things that they don't even know themselves what this game's going to be. I just feel like this game might be something that will just settle down in the dust for a while. People just won't really remember it until maybe next year, perhaps. But I don't.
It's Xbox's Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it could well be. Yeah,
God,
I don't suspect we'll see anything of this for a while, personally.
Okay, no, interesting take, and I think I'd have probably put it there as well. Scott, Luke, any challenges to that at all?
Nah.
No, not for me. I think that's a long way out.
Yeah, do you think Sea of Thieves might actually be pushing the development of this further and further back? I mean, it's obviously Rare by Rare, developed by Rare, but obviously Rare by nature as well. I think we've seen, like you say, one CGI clip. It was very kind of I don't know how you describe it. Really. It was very fantasy, kind of natural. Or there was a deer that was sick, and they were kind of dancing around, and it sort of sprang back into life and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily think Sea of Thieves is pushing it anywhere. I think they probably have separate teams, I would imagine. I just think that they announced it way too early, and don't really know what it's supposed to be, or haven't. Maybe they. I'd hope by now they've figured that out.
Well, yeah,
they've kind of got that down. But certainly for the last year or so, it doesn't seem like they've had much luck in actually understanding what it is. So, it's just a while away, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Pax is right. Like you say, there was a point where I don't think they quite understood what direction the game was going in, and yet we knew about it, and we'd seen some kind of artwork around it. So it just seemed a very odd situation. But there we go. Okay, there's not too much more to discuss about Everworld, literally because we don't know that much about it, in all honesty. So, Luke, let's come to you, mate. Pick one out the board.
Oh, God, there's so many choices. Can I say where I think it's going to go if I pick it?
You can, and then it can be open for challenge, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to go the new ZeniMax Online MMO.
Oh,
and
right.
I don't think that will be there.
Okay.
So let's put it in the red.
So do we actually have any details around this? How do we know this exists?
We know it exists because they've had a bunch of job listings for it and being quite vocal that they're making a new... I think they've specifically said that it's a new IP. Scott, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right.
Developed in Unreal as well. So I've put MMO in there, but it might not actually be an MMO to be fair. It's just obviously off the back of
ZeniMax Online.
So exactly. So,
but I know they have some really good staff on this, because I think Quentin Cobb, who used to be at Naughty Dog, and then he left and rejoined the visual arts studio, the one that was rumored to be making the Last of Us remake. He was actually one of the project kind of leads. But anyway, whatever happened in the background at that studio, he left and then he joined ZeniMax Online. And he was very excited about it. And I think a bunch of staff that left from that failed project at the visual arts studio actually joined ZeniMax. They all joined together. There was like 3 or 4 of them. So it seems whatever it is very ambitious. And I'm quite excited to see what it is. Not necessarily if it's an MMO. Like, I'm not as enamored if it's an MMO, because I think, these days especially, MMOs kind of occupy a bit of a niche. But it may not be an MMO. It may just be an online game. So yeah, by all accounts, it sounds quite exciting.
I mean, they're obviously, again, a little bit like Rare with Sea of Thieves. They're obviously still very, very busy on Elder Scrolls Online, and they're still continuing to pump out content for that. In fact, I'm surprised how long that game has actually survived, if I'm honest. I mean, I love Elder Scrolls. I'm not particularly huge fan of Elder Scrolls Online. Has anyone else really delved into ESO at all?
No, I've not personally. I've seen it being played by a few people, and I think I was around a friend's house a couple of years ago, roughly when it first came out, and saw it being played and thought, oh, I wouldn't mind jumping into this at some point in the future. This is before I had an Xbox again myself. And but I realised, as much as I thought I would have liked to have jumped into it, I don't know. It's one of those games where you have to put like hundreds and hundreds of hours in, and especially then, and even more so now, I'm at a stage when I like to almost go from game to game. So the idea and thought of needing to spend hundreds upon hundreds of hours just to partly and get just to get halfway through the game is like, I wouldn't mind giving it a go, but I suppose in my mind, because I know I'd never get to a finish point with it, I almost don't even bother, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my take on it, at least.
Okay, no, fair enough. Any challenges, Scott, at all?
Nah, too old for MMOs, personally, these days.
Is it a young person's game, is it?
I've put a lifetime's worth of hours into WoW when I was a lot younger.
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, I did dabble in Elder Scrolls Online, but I just don't have the patience for an MMO these days.
No, fair dues. I'm going to pick one up the list now. I'm going to pick a. Let's pick. Ooh, what shall we go for? I know what I want to pick. I just can't find it. I hope you put it in there. I'm sure you did.
Do you want to say what it is?
Yeah. No, let's go for Gears Collection. One for the chat. Where do we think the Gears Collection? Now, obviously, this is assuming it's actually a thing. Kind of the Marcus.
I think I put it in maybe, personally. I feel like it's got enough traction online that it could exist. And it's believable, right? It's not like it's just a notion of which it's just like, nah, this would never happen. I think we can see this happening.
Okay, interesting. What do you think, Luke? I'm just going to fix OBS. It looks like Luke's name's dropped off the bottom.
It's disgraceful. No, yeah, I think it's a maybe. It's quite heavily rumored. It would make sense. I don't know.
There we go.
What it would look like in a sense. So I'd be quite interested because I suppose if the coalition are doing it themselves, they'll do it to a pretty high level. And it might have been a nice test bed just for not next gen because they're not going to be remakes, but very high end remasters. So, and I'd be really interested in it, to be honest. It's been enough time from playing the original trilogy for me to go back to them now. I am a bit burnt out on Gears in general. Sorry, Stubbs. But
that surprises me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think that series needs a bit of a God of War treatment for me, which obviously won't land well with everyone because it's Gears and people like Gears for what it is. But even if they did a side project that was in the Gears universe but a different game, not a cover shooter, not Gears mechanics, I think that's something I'd really like. But a Gears collection I would play anyway because it's been enough time since I played the first three. So
yeah, no, I think it's quite safe in the maybe. I don't know how we're going to pitch this because, like I say, what we'll do is we'll probably take a screenshot of this and take it with us on Boxenberger's channel after the show and just see how correct our predictions were. But the maybe one, because if we're going to have to sort of work out what we're going to do with the maybes. I'm leaning more towards the fact that although it's in the maybe category, I think it's more likely. I think it's kind of there, shall we say, rather than there. But be interesting.
You can't get too much credit, though, if we don't have the balls to put it in the definitely category.
Yeah, that's pretty, like I say, we're going to have to work out what we're going to do around the maybe category. But
get half a point tops.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll just go because Ash Reviews Games makes a good point and says that they did do a remaster of Gears 1 already, early mid Xbox One gen. Do they do it again? Do they make a complete collection, or do they release, I don't know, like 2, 3 and Judgment or something? I don't know. Like you have to do 1, 2, and 3, I guess. But do they use those as a test bed for UE5? Because I mean, the original trilogy was built in UE3, So, is this a good example case for them to just almost practice porting to an updated engine? Because it is the same engine under the hood, ultimately.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a remake. It would be a remaster at best, I think.
That's what I mean. I don't mean a complete remake. I just mean an up-res, but potentially on newer tech, of course. But maybe not. Maybe there's a different process around it.
Yeah, how did they handle Gears 1? Did they get that into UE4 when they remastered it?
I don't actually know. I can look it up, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so.
Okay, well, we'll like you say, we'll find out fairly soon, 10 days' time. But go on then, Pucks, pick another one from the list, mate.
Okay. I'm going to go with... Let's go Fable.
Fable, okay.
And
surely
I'm going to put that in the... I don't know. Is it going to maybe? I mean, I'd like to say definitely, but in terms of what I actually think, I kind of get the impression that maybe there's potentially enough of other stuff to show that they may not show some Fable stuff. I don't know, guys. I think you need to help me out here. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think I'd stick it in maybe. I'd like it to be in the definitely category, but
we sound the same.
100% confident.
What about absolutely not? Because Ash Reviews has said he thinks we're going to see another CGI trailer. I'm wondering if
please no.
If we did,
I'm wondering if we're going to see it at all. Like Puck says, I think they've got so many other things to discuss. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not there at all. But
I'm in the absolutely not.
You are.
If anything, I'd maybe if we could create another tier, I'd put like a wishful thinking or like a please God please category, and Fable would be top of that category. But I actually don't think it'll be there. I think it's too far out.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like if Gears is between definitely and maybe, Fable's between maybe and absolutely not.
Yeah,
by the sounds of things.
That's kind of about there, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Do we agree with that? We're going to have to try and take a note of this. What do you think, chat? Stubbs has put Fable. I doubt you see it yet until 2024 or later. That doesn't mean to say we couldn't, I don't know, like you say, even see a CGI, but we've already seen one of those. I'd be a bit miffed if we saw another one. BMG
that's the thing with these games, like CG for announcement trailers, I'm absolutely fine with. I've got no issue with that. But next time you show it, you've got to show something better.
I was going to say,
if you just show CG after CG after CG, you can't. BMG's just mentioned that Jeff Grubb said that apparently all first-party studios submitted something. Remember, Playground will come onto it, Forza Horizon 5 DLC, which
I think it was Randall Thor as well. I don't think it was Jeff Grubb. It's Randall Thor, wasn't it? I thought he said
that's
that.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So what we're doing with it? What are we doing with it? Because I'm torn.
I think it's fair to put it in absolutely not, but also fair to put it in maybe. So just make a judgment call.
Well, can I just point out some things in the chat as well?
Yeah,
well, Ash Review says, I hope we don't see it if it's still really far out.
Well,
J Rock has said Fable is far off, so I doubt we'll see anything.
Yeah, I think that's pretty likely.
BMG, remember Jeff Grubb did say that all first-party studios have submitted something for the showcase, but Masco thinks not for Fable. Yeah, it's kind of looking like a maybe not from most of the chat, but then there is some comment about apparently all first parties are putting something to show. But that doesn't mean all games though, because some studios have multiple projects on the go, right? So,
yeah.
But can you give it a refresh?
Yep. Well, what you done?
see if it works.
Well, what have you done? What's changed?
I put another. It hasn't. Don't worry. I put a different tier in there of just please.
Oh, okay.
Maybe as a compromise, but I don't think it's saved, unfortunately, because we've started.
Right.
You might actually be able to add one if you wanted. If you want to add more category slap, I think if you click the little cog icon, I think you can add your own.
Yeah, let's have a think about that. Yeah, we might be able to move some around, but okay. Well, Scott, pick one. Pick a controversial one. Pick one that's going to be divisive.
A controversial one.
Yeah.
A controversial one. Okay. That's not really controversial.
Top row, far right, perhaps.
Top row, far. I don't think there's anything necessarily controversial. Assuming you maybe looking at, if you're looking at Perfect Dark, I don't think it's controversial to say that's not going to be there. Personally, I think that's like Fable. I think that's maybe a little too far out. You should maybe put it in the maybe. I wouldn't be confident.
Let's have the discussion.
I think that's a not.
Chat, what do we think about Perfect Dark?
I don't mean to pick on the behalf.
No, that's all right. No, well, we'll come back to Scott. Scott can do another one because that's kind of an obvious one, I think. Luke, is that in the right place, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's, again, miles away. So
Yeah.
I'd put that absolutely not.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, let us know if you agree, chat. Yeah, sorry, Scott. So, yeah, let's go to another one.
Oh, and another one. I get two off the bounce. Which one? There's just so many things in here. So let us go with Banjo Kazooie. Let's get the Banjo conversation out of the way. And I'm just going to keep putting things in the red. I don't think Banjo's not coming back. Not yet, at least. Anyway, I don't think it's.
I don't think it exists at this point in time.
Yeah.
I've got to find the bloody thing. Where is it?
Top row, third from the right. Yeah.
So you think that's in the red?
Another one for the wishful thinking camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
Who would make it? Who would make it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There's no one.
The only team that would potentially make it is oh god, what are they called? Third party made up of ex-Rare staff made ukulele.
Platonic.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, so I think that's the at present. I don't think they've announced a game. I think they are the only ones who could conceivably make it of the studios. I mean, there are other studios obviously, but they would be the natural choice, right? But I don't think they're making it. So I just don't.
Ash has just put in the chat that maybe Toys for Bob. Obviously, that'll be when the acquisition.
Okay, so that has to happen first. Yeah. Although I guess they could have been. They could have been asked to. They could have been licensed to do that or charged to do that. I guess even before.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing stopping them from doing it now. But I guess they've worked on Activision IPs so far, haven't they? So.
I don't think Kotick would have sanctioned a licensed Banjo Kazooie game. To be honest, I don't think he would have just laughed.
Yeah, that's not going to bring in billions, is it? To be fair, no.
Yeah. But maybe going forward, they would be a very good choice to make something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's not looking so good so far, is it? I mean, I know we've got a long way to go yet, but we've got two definitelys that are absolutely going to be there, and a maybe that I think is probably, like I say, on the definitely side of maybe. But okay, coming in, Luke. What are we going with next, mate?
Okay. Let's go with Indiana Jones.
Oh, I was going to pick that.
So
interesting.
Yeah, I think that's an absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking maybe. I was thinking maybe.
What are they going to show though?
A whip.
Surprise gameplay.
So Todd Howard will come on stage and just whip the camera. No, I can't. I mean, we presume that Machine Games have made or are making something simultaneous to this. So the logical inference from that would be that they would show whatever that is off, and we've got what it would probably be on the screen. When was Indiana Jones announced? A year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago, I think. Wasn't it at the last Summer Games Fest? Something like that.
It wasn't it just on Twitter or something? I feel like it was.
It was. Yeah.
Was it? I thought there was a video CGI thing, wasn't it? Because you kind of panned across and saw his whip and stuff, didn't we? There was some video footage, just some CGI.
Yeah. It was just a very
January 2021.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Crikey,
so I can't see it having anything there. I really can't. Be cool if
just on that then, Luke. So it's interesting. You mentioned that you thought they're working on what we would assume would be Wolfenstein. Do you think that Wolfenstein is in development and further along than Indiana Jones? Do you think they're working on two projects at the same time, or how do you think that's going to play out? Because I guess Wolfenstein Youngblood was what, 2019, so 3 years ago now, and they announced Indiana Jones 2021.
However, the last Wolfenstein was made in collaboration with Arcane, wasn't it? So it wasn't all of Machine Games working on that at the time.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of a mainline Wolfenstein, they've probably had a bit longer than from 2019 to work on it. So I think they've probably got two teams, and you would think that there's no way they've been working on Indiana Jones for 3 years. I cannot see that have been, their next project after Youngblood. So
to be honest, even if they have, there's no guarantee that that's going to have gameplay footage that we're going to see. So
no, and I think as well with Indiana Jones, I mean, we don't know what the makeup of that game is, but presumably, it will be a bit of an endeavor for Machine Games after however many years of making Wolfenstein first-person shooters. I mean, we don't know if Indiana Jones is going to be an FPS or third person. I mean, I would hope it's third person because I just would hate a first-person Indiana Jones game. But yeah.
Right. Is there any challenges to absolutely not? Scott, Pucks, what do we think?
I personally would have thought maybe, only because I mean, part of me, because I know you said a minute ago, all of our red list is growing big, and our definitely is quite small. But I'd like to think we'd be almost surprised with something. So I feel like in a way, should we assume that we'd be surprised with something? Which I think we've probably got some other ones for the definitelys. But I don't know. I personally would have put it into the maybe because maybe enough time has passed. I mean, despite Luke's very sound argument against why it probably won't be there. You never know, I guess, is the other side of the coin. So, yeah, I don't know. Scott, what do you reckon?
I'm happy to go with Luke here. To be perfectly honest, I think that's fair.
Is it?
How about you, Slav? Would you want it?
Well, I would put it. Hang on. There, I'd put it there. I would put it on the lesser side of maybe, if that makes any kind of sense. Yeah.
Something from the chat. Beast Mode 10 has said one of them is further along. I don't think Wolf 3 is further along. It could be indie though. I don't think they have a large enough team to make 2 AAA games at a time. So could they be focusing on just one or the other?
Are we just being? Is this what Xbox have drummed into us? We're just kind of pessimistic around these sort of things.
We're being realistic, Flat.
Well,
realistic.
But what I can see here is that 2023 is going to be brilliant if some of these games are appearing in 2023. But they're going to. Well, let's just try and do something positive, shall we? Let's try and put another. This is another obvious one. Let's get Forza Motorsport 8. I'm guessing we're going to put that in the definitely column. No surprises there, I don't suppose. I think lots of people are kind of expecting it to be released this year to somehow fill the gap that Starfield and Redfall might be leaving behind. But yeah, any challenges to that, anyone?
No, I personally think that you have to have a racing game at a gaming event, surely.
Well, while you're there, Flat, pop the Horizon 5 DLC in definitely. I think that's got to be a lock as well. That normally is being released. This time, normally the first expansion comes out just a couple of months after the game. So it's a surprise we haven't seen it already. So yeah, I think that's a lock. Yeah, no, absolutely. Bit of Forza.
And like you say, that will be Playground Games' contribution to the show then, I guess, rather than obviously Fable, that we've put in absolutely not. So yeah, okay. Like I say, a couple of obvious ones there. Go on then, Pucks. Let's go for something else.
Something that catches my eye is something here about Sea of Thieves update, third row, third from right. I'm inclined to say absolutely not because they've only just very recently announced some new adventures anyway.
You couldn't be any more wrong. Yeah. Sea of Thieves is going to be there in some way. Yeah. It's been at every single showcase that Xbox have done since it was released, mate. I think that's the thing that's the most given on this list. To be honest, it might not be as substantial as the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, but there will be a trailer for Sea of Thieves in that 90 minutes. I would put money on it. I mean, the last big thing...
I'm not going to put money on it, but...
I mean, the last big thing to happen was to get Jack Sparrow and that kind of franchise in there, I guess. Do you think there could be something else along those lines? Is there another...
Well, they've already announced a new adventure and a trailer for it. So I don't see why you would see it here.
That's just the season stuff that they've been doing, though, isn't it, Pucks? I don't think it's...
Yeah, but it's still the next adventure as part of the new seasons, because that's their new plan, isn't it?
But what about the next adventure, Pucks? What about the adventure after that? There's always more adventures in the Sea of Thieves, man. That's the
this
point.
hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, it
but
has,
okay, but what I'm not too sure which update you're necessarily referring to, Pucks. But if it's not out by June, that you know that they will show a trailer for that in the showcase,
Yeah.
even if it's the one that they've already announced. I'm just
Yeah, I suppose
confident
on the
it'll be there.
mindset of if they were trying to release one a month, which I think was their new plan, then yeah, sure, okay, I'll take it back. I can see maybe there being something. Koeshi in the chat is also saying Sea of Thieves definitely. SOT is going with people's choice to branch into one of two different storylines.
Stubbs has said the same. Yeah, Stubbs said Sea of Thieves definitely going to be there. I agree. Beast modes, yeah.
No, fair enough.
Now, as a snapshot, this is for anyone in the chat. Chat, thank you very much for being here. It's fantastic. I love all of your input. I really do. But looking at this right now, bearing in mind that we're assuming the red ones aren't going to be there at this moment in time, that's a very disappointing Xbox showcase, isn't it? So far. Or am I just being... Yeah. Okay, well, let's keep going because we're not done yet, obviously. So, Scott, give us another one, mate.
I'm just going to go straight in the red again. Elder Scrolls 6. Get it in there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much to say on that as well, so we could probably move on.
Yeah, I agree with that. They need Starfield out of the way first.
Yeah.
We haven't really... I mean, we've seen we haven't seen any CGI from it at all. There was kind of a... I think like a pan over a landscape and the Elder Scrolls 6 kind of logo came into frame. I think it was only about 10 seconds long. We've not seen anything more than that. Do you think they might not put together something a little bit more than that, even if it is a CGI thing, or just go completely silent on it?
Well, from what I remember, when they did reveal that very, like the bare bones teaser as you can get, they kind of said they did it just to kind of say, well, to shut everyone up, I think is the blunt way to put it. Kind of say that, yes, guys, that we are starting to work on it, but look, it's miles off. So, like, don't expect it anytime soon. And of course, with all the big Starfield stuff, I feel like they want to get this done and dusted, out of the way, sort out its plan for post-launch, all that kind of stuff, before even properly thinking about when they're going to launch Scroll 6.
Fair point. Stubbs has put Elder Scrolls ain't coming for another 10 years. I hate to have to agree with that because I love Elder Scrolls, but I think he's probably right. And Sweshi has put, so far it's not good enough. And like I say, I think we've got the obvious ones in. There's probably a few other obvious ones to put in there, but let's keep going. Luke, what we putting in next?
I'll put Callisto Protocol, but I think Keeley has that one.
Yeah, I think someone else mentioned that earlier on. Actually, it might have been Ash. I think that's right. I'm really excited about this sort of game. There's been some more info drop around it recently, anyway, isn't there? So it's back on the radar, as it were. But you think that's one of Keeley's then?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's been tweeting a lot of Glenn Schofield's tweets around.
Yeah, didn't we see it last year at the Summer Game Fest?
I think. Yeah, whichever. It was announced at one of Keeley's shows, so I think he'll have first gameplay footage, gameplay walkthrough, something like that. So I'm even more excited after the Game Informer coverage on it.
Yeah, like I say, I know that was particularly on your radar. Any challenges to that, anyone? Chat, are we going to challenge that at all? That seems correct to me.
Yeah, I think Callisto's in the right place there.
Yeah, okay. I agree. Another one maybe along those lines is maybe Pragmata. From Capcom. It's not on this list, but I think Keith will probably have that as well if it shows up at all this summer.
Well, whilst we're on that, I'll go for the next one, and I'm going to go Kojima. And I think we as a panel probably need to make clear what we mean by Kojima. Do we mean Kojima in general, as in like a cameo? He's going to show up. He's going to say something about, I don't know, Death Stranding 2 or something, or are we saying that this is a Kojima stroke Xbox joint venture? What do we mean by Kojima?
I would have thought in the context of what we're trying to mark, a collaboration between Kojima and Xbox, I would say.
Okay, well,
personally, unless you guys disagree.
Right.
Yeah, although he probably has Kojima as well, but I think for the purpose of this,
I think that's a given.
This is the rumored Kojima and Xbox cloud game partnership.
Stubbs is adamant. Kojima isn't working with Xbox, says Stubbs. VJ also says no Kojima. Mexico agreeing with that call. I don't know. I think maybe. I would have thought. Do I say?
I would
maybe
put this in the maybe personally.
Would you? Oh, I wouldn't. I'd have put it under the absolutely not. To be honest. Go on.
If this game exists, if the game exists, then surely this is the place to show. But I guess it's, is the ink even dry on the contract where they've got something to show? We know they're fond of a CG announcement trailer, so I wouldn't expect much. But
I don't know, because I don't know what he would. I mean, it certainly seems like he's making Death Stranding 2 based on Norman Reedus just saying that he's making Death Stranding 2. So, and I think he's probably working on something else because they've said as much, that they're making multiple projects, and something cloud-based with Xbox would probably be a smaller project, smaller scale. I would imagine Death Stranding would be the AAA kind of level thing. So I don't know when the right time is, if both of those things are true that he's working on, to announce either. But I personally put him in the Keeley has it column, because I just think that's more likely than him showing up at Xbox at this point in time.
So we can't...
VJ says let Luke decide. Koeshi thinks it's highly unlikely. BMG says they haven't finished signing contracts yet. Beast Mode 10, Kojima's working on the cloud game. Luke just mentioned that. What else? Yeah, Koeshi again says they just started working on Death Stranding 2, and Beast Mode again says if Kojima is there, then he might announce it at the Game Awards.
So I think we could have probably done with 2 Kojimas. I think Kojima will be the Keeley's show for one reason or another. But this particular one was the Xbox stroke Kojima rumored collaboration that they're doing. I absolutely don't think we'll see it, if I'm completely honest.
Let's put in the Keeley has it one.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Let's pop it in there. Let's switch it to just Kojima, the man himself.
Exactly. Only because there is so many question marks around it. It was a rumor that sparked up quite a long time ago now, and I've not heard any updates about it since. So, right, who did I get to? I think I got to you.
That was yourself. You went, I think.
Right.
I'm going to go with some hardware, which I believe is Project Keystone. Is that correct?
It is.
Which is the Puck cloud thing.
It is, but to my knowledge, there's been an update with this, if I'm honest.
Oh, was there? What's the update?
Have you not seen Brad Sam's video as of yesterday?
No.
Right.
Jez and Rand spoke about it on their most recent show, I believe, last Friday.
Right. So according to Brad Sams, it looks like Xbox might be moving away from Project Keystone in terms of game streaming and a puck. Yeah, I think they went there. I think from watching his video, it seems like they went there. Is
that from a reliable source, is it?
Brad Sams is pretty reliable. Not infallible, but pretty reliable. But I think there was an official Microsoft statement that came out saying that they've acknowledged Keystone and what it was and what it was going to be, but looks like they're going to be moving away from that particular project for the time being. I don't know. Has anyone else seen that? Okay. Has anyone else in the chat seen that? Did I dream that? I'm sure I saw it.
No, you're absolutely right, Flap.
Yeah.
Windows Central actually had an article on it, which came out 5 days ago. Apparently, I'll just quickly read the statement because they got a statement from Microsoft on it. They kind of acknowledged its existence, where they basically said their vision for cloud gaming is to enable people to connect to any TV or monitor without a console. As part of the technical journey, we are constantly evaluating our efforts, renewing our learns, ensuring we bring value to customers. And we have made the decision to pivot away from the current iteration of the Keystone device, and we will take our learnings and refocus our efforts on a new approach that will allow us to deliver cloud gaming to more players.
Right. Had I not been aware of that, I would have said definitely. But now that you've said that, definitely not, I guess.
No, I completely agree. Had we done this a week ago, that would have been there for me. But as of that video, then it's there for me now, which is a bit of a swing, obviously. But any challenges?
Some things in chat as well. Well, the chat is also mirroring what Scott and that have just said. So I guess it's changed. I was going to happily put that in the green, but no, that update definitely means it's in the red, I think.
Yeah, that's quite conclusive, that one. So, right, Scott, back to you. We've still got quite a few to go through yet. What are we going to do next?
Let's have a look what we got here. Let's fill out a couple of them. Let's put something in maybe. Let's fill out that yellow column. Actually, can I think of anything that's in maybe?
I can.
Let's put Hellblade 2 in maybe Well, initially, obviously, we'll have a discussion around it. We'll see what people think. You could even argue to put it in the Keighley Hazard, not necessarily for Summer Games Fest, but maybe another appearance at the Game Awards later this year. But I do wonder whether that is actually going to make an appearance.
Well, for me personally, that would be there. But okay, let's go round. Let's go round. What do you think, Luke? Where's Hellblade 2 going?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with Scott in the maybe column, actually.
Wow.
I mean, obviously they've just shown a fairly chunky gameplay demo as of a few months ago.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a game that you would typically show a lot of in terms of extended gameplay. So I don't know if 6 months later they're going to drop another gameplay trailer of it. I think it's possible maybe they do a more substantial story trailer with some gameplay. But I think at that point you surely got to give a release date as well, because I don't think they can keep trotting it out with just no commitment to when it's coming out. So that's why I think it's a good maybe kind of game. And if not, I agree with Scott as well. It would be Keighley has it, but maybe Game Awards again at the end of the year, where they hopefully then say this is when it's coming out.
Right. So by Keighley has it, we obviously mean the Summer Game Fest. So like you say, if it was at the Game Awards, that wouldn't really count under this. I guess we'd have to put it there. I suppose. But so that's really divisive, because I would have put it there. I think. I'd have.
Pucks, what do you think, mate?
Yeah.
I initially would have.
Yeah,
I initially would have thought maybe, but then looking at the chat and then listening, I do agree that I think it's a Game Awards thing. I think maybe Keighley has it rather than being shown here.
Wow.
So I think I put Hellblade 2 in the blue, if I'm perfectly honest.
Right. So like I've just said, the Keighley has it is only for the Summer Game Fest. So if we're saying that it's going to be at the Game Awards,
we can expand it. We can expand it if we want. Keighley has it. Yeah. So, Keighley also has what's the other one? Gamescom opening night live as well.
Yeah.
Keighley is a man in many places, so he has a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. That would seem strange for Xbox to let Keighley have it if they're coming up with their own game showcase, though, and they've got something, but perhaps they haven't.
But they've let them have Hellblade 2 before, Flab. You can make that
argument.
They want to.
Yeah, but that first time was. Yeah, but that first time was to sort of introduce to the world Series X as well. So it was kind of part of that. Like you say, the second one. Yeah, I don't know. It seems strange.
I think they want to keep them sweet. I think they'll always drop Keighley a bone, because they'll want to be part of. They'll want to have. Remember, they had Halo at Summer Games Fest last year. They showed off the first multiplayer cinematic. It wasn't much, admittedly, but they want to keep Keighley sweet, and Hellblade, Halo. So it might not necessarily be Hellblade 2, but they will have something at Summer Games Fest during their show. I'm almost certain of it. It might just be, here's something, tune in on Sunday to see more, or something completely exclusive to that show, and they'll most certainly have something for the Game Awards as well, and that might be Hellblade.
No, fair dues. Right, where do we get to? Is it to yourself, Luke? Are you next?
I think it might be. Let's go with what I think will be another red. So we'll go new Doom id Software game.
Right.
See, this would have been in like my wishful thinking column.
Yes, it would have been
if we had it. I really want to see. Do you not think there's a chance we see something from id?
No, because I think id now are working on. I mean, clearly they're working on another game, right? And it's not. I don't think they're working on Doom. I think they're working on something like Quake. But I also think in tandem with that, it's going to be the next iteration of their engine, which will take a bit of time to finalize, get going, as it were. So I think whatever we see, when we do see it, it's going to be incredible. But I just think we're going to have to wait a bit longer, and I definitely don't think it will be Doom.
Okay.
Cool. We do have Quake on there separately as well.
Should we? Let's do that then. I'm going to go Quake.
Yeah,
I'm going to go maybe.
I say chat's already clapped in. I think that we are going to see Quake.
Go on, Luke.
But why would they announce Quake if we've also got a new Doom /id game one, and we put that in absolutely not? If we,
If we
using the
think-
second
yeah,
part,
I
the
see what
second
you
part
mean.
of an id game,
yeah.
I just can't see why.
Perhaps that should be just new Doom then, I guess.
Yeah, maybe just do
Yeah,
that.
if it would,
that
if we,
team.
yeah, but again, why would? Surely they would announce Quake at QuakeCon.
Yes, someone else mentioned that in the chat. Yeah,
So-
that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Maybe Keeley has Doom. Him, Keeley and Doom guy.
Doom doesn't exist. There is no Doom.
So where do we put Quake then?
Yeah,
If people are
that's
saying we're probably going to see this at QuakeCon.
Quake should be absolutely not in terms
You
of
reckon?
this showcase,
Yeah,
this
I suppose
specific
that makes sense.
showcase.
Yeah.
Okay.
This absolutely.
It's not
category's
looking
getting
good, is it?
pretty
I
damn
can't. I can't help but feel since I last did the checkpoint of it's not looking good. It's still not looking very good, is it? So there's got to be some surprises in this bloody showcase, surely. Because, like I say, go on.
In terms of the next one, that's kind of two I want to pick out because I think it's going to be good for Scott and Luke to almost
Yeah, we
to
can go
play. So there's two Halo Infinite base ones, the campaign DLC and Battle Royale modes. I feel like we can do these as a double whammy.
Yeah.
I suppose given the, is it right for me to say current controversy of Halo Online? Is it getting better? Are they still working on that? So would that delay a Battle Royale? And would it delay campaign DLC? Do you expect to see any Halo this showcase when it's, I don't know, isn't things like Starfield and stuff kind of meant to be like the main show thing? Do you guys want to see Halo? Oh, sorry. Do you guys think we will see anything Halo related? And if so, which ones? And where would you put them, I guess, is what I'm asking you.
Well, let's go with the DLC first. Let's go with the DLC. Where we're putting Halo DLC.
I think that's somewhere between maybe and absolutely not.
Oh, you think
that
about
element.
there.
Yeah. I don't know what Scott thinks on that.
Yeah, go on, Scott.
I think the Battle Royales are a lot easier of an answer for me.
Yeah, I think I'm with Luke. I think Halo shows. I think they do show something Halo related.
Yeah.
It might not be as significant as campaign DLC or Battle Royale. It might just be like. Then again, the season 3 doesn't really start until November, so it's way too early to show anything to do with season 3. So I do think it shows up in some form. And if I was going to get bet between the two, it would be like a teaser trailer for the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
But then, would you not also say that Battle Royale would be released as part of season 3, rather than just kind of randomly slapped in the middle of season 2?
No, because I think the Battle Royale element will kind of stand alone in some respects. So I don't think it has any bearing on their season plans. I just think when they're ready to drop it, they will.
Yeah.
So, and obviously it's not. I mean, it's being made by Certain Affinity, right? So probably with some 343 import. But yeah, I think for me that's a definite. Well, no, I think it's between maybe and definitely. So
okay, so seeing as perhaps hovering over the campaign DLC, are we putting this under absolutely not? Then are we agreeing with that?
I'd maybe sit on the fence and just put them both in maybe and caveat it with one of them will show up.
That's very fence city, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it helps fill up the orange.
Yeah,
would they not align? Would they not align the Battle Royale with a new season? I mean, the season pass must sort of feed into the Battle Royale. I mean, it does in other. So like Call of Duty's got its own Battle Royale and sort of standalone multiplayer, but the sort of the game, the season, the sort of Battle Pass kind of spans both. You think?
I think it'll launch maybe with the season. I think it'll be like the big feature for maybe season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I think it's big enough as a mode on its own to not necessarily for them to have to wait until 2 weeks before that season launches to announce this mode. I think Halo Infinite Battle Royale is big enough where they announce it and just say coming next year or something. I actually think it's big enough for them to do that. While the other things that they've done or talked about, like maps and mods to the existing multiplayer sandbox, they're not big enough to announce during a showcase. They're something that you just show off in the run up to that particular season. So I think it launches with a season flat, but I think it's big enough by itself to warrant like a trailer or an announcement, even a little bit further out than the normal stuff.
Wow. Okay. Who did we get to? Was that yours, Pax?
I just want to read a comment. VJ says, if Sony or Nintendo are watching this breakdown, it doesn't exactly strike fear in the heart of one's competitors.
I do agree. But we're not done yet. So, we do have... we can't put everything else in the absolutely not. I mean, there's got to be something... There's got to be some surprises in this show, surely, because if it is
I picked up the Halo one, so I think it's over to Scott now.
Yeah, Scott.
Right, let's try to get something that definitely. The thing is, the stuff that's in there, that's definitely. I think they're locks. I think the rest of it is kind of like a maybe, but we kind of got to try and, I guess, think of something that we think's more likely than not to be there. So let's do a nice easy one.
I think there's an easy one.
Nice easy one. ID at Xbox sizzle reel. We're going to get something,
Absolutely,
and there's likely going to be a lot of cool shit in that sizzle reel. And actually, on that sort of vein, it's not in this list, but something like Somerville, for example, is likely to be the showcase. That'll be an ID at Xbox game. So we'll categorize sort of those indies in that one, I think.
Yeah, no, that's to be honest, that's a given. I'm going to give you another shot at this, Scott. Let's go for another one because I think
I thought I got to with it.
Yeah,
another easy one.
Pick another one. Go on.
Okay, right. This is what I think is going to be there. I think the Coalition will show a tease. Let's make it a bit controversial. I think the Coalition will tease whatever this non-Gears project is. Not Gear 6.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think Gear 6 is an absolutely not, personally, but I'll let someone else pick that. I think they will tease whatever this new project is. It'll be CG, nothing more than CG. And admittedly, it might not because they might want to get away from that. But I think we'll see something from the Coalition. Although it's definitely between maybe and definitely at best, admittedly, but I think I'll boost it up there just to fill that up.
Yeah, no, I can kind of see a logic in that. Luke, Pucks, what do we think?
Yeah, I think so. I think we kind of. Sorry, go on, Luke. You go first.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think in a way we're going to be showing something new, right?
I was going to say they've got to announce something, haven't they? It can't just be everything we've seen before.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this should almost be a given. And at the very least, because we've already seen the tech demo from Coalition, and it's been announced that they are, they've been up and running on UE5 for a while now. It's been a good, just over a year now, I believe they've transitioned to UE5 from when it was in the internal kind of beta stages and the close developer relationships and stuff, testing it out. So I feel like they're going to have something. Obviously, even beyond that, they were working on something. So I feel like we're going to start seeing whatever it is that they've been doing. I think this is the best opportunity to do so.
Yeah, fair dues. Yeah, okay. Luke, where we're going next?
I was going to say, Luke, any disagreement on that out of interest? Mate?
No, I think it's I don't know if it would be indefinitely for me, but I think maybe out of anything Coalition, it would be maybe.
I was thinking it would straddle the two, but I put it up there to try and put a little bit of a bet in there on something.
Yeah, I would hope so as well, because I think it'd be cool, one, to see what a potential second project would be, and two, just because it's a nice, shiny new announcement, something a bit different, so that would be cool. My game or project or hardware, I'm gonna go. Oh, this is hard now. New acquisition.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Yeah. It's because of the current Activision Blizzard deal, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think for the most part, yeah. I think they're done for a little while, and then they'll pick it back up after Activision.
Also, I don't think they need to do that. I don't think they need to fill a spot in a game showcase with an acquisition announcement as well.
They've never done
2018.
As I said, they did it back in 2018 with a handful, didn't they? But I don't think they've ever really done it since, have they?
Well, the only two they've announced since are Bethesda and Activision, isn't it?
Is that all? Yeah, that's true, I suppose. And
I say,
they've done two, haven't they? Because they did the bunch way back when, which was Playground and Ninja Theory, and wasn't.
Yeah.
Didn't they then do Double Fine at another one?
I thought that was the same show because they brought Tim Schafer out on stage. Because they announced 5. Yeah, they announced 5 at that same showcase, didn't they? The Initiative, Playground, Ninja Theory. That was years earlier. Double Fine in Exile. When was Obsidian? Obsidian, In Exile, Playground, Double Fine,
Undead
Ninja
Labs was
Theory.
the other one.
Yeah, they must have split them out actually because they did
Yeah.
5 in one. They must have announced some others at another time as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with a project. Let's go with Project Midnight, which I believe is Compulsion's game. Do you think we're going to see that? Like I said, we're going to have to start seeing some of these. You know, these things have been in project code names for a long time. You know, there is going to have to be a tipping point where we start to see these. Even like you say, even if some of these are going to be like you say the CG trailer. You know, because a lot of these we haven't even seen a CG trailer for, and we don't even know what officially what they're called. So, Project Midnight, where do we think that's going?
I think that straddles the line between definitely and maybe.
Oh, over that side. Okay.
I'd agree. I'd agree with that. Again, it's probably a CG announcement, which I hate saying, because it's maybe late next year at the earliest. But they need to start announcing these things that we know of as projects from leakers or from people like Jez Corden and Jeff Grubb. They need to announce them in some form. So I'd agree with that. Look,
I'm personally thinking just to be a bit bold, I might move it into the green, just because otherwise the show's looking like it's going to be an hour-long Starfield and then just 20 minutes of everything else. I'd like to think we're going to see more things new, even if it's just like a small snippet or a CGI. And I suppose if we're going along those lines, then surely it's sounding like more of a potential definite to the point you just put it in green for boldness' sake. Personally, obviously, we don't know, obviously, so that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, I think it's fair to put it up there.
All right. Yeah, we'll go.
What's your choice, though, Flap? I mean,
we'll double down on it because, like you say, I think we do have to be bold, and it's probably quite nice to keep things out of them. Maybe it's a bit of a fence-sitting area, but yeah, if we're gonna
put the battle royale up there as well, then Flap. While we're at
okay.
it, put the battle royale up there.
Okay. Pucks.
I'm going to go with a hardware one. In a way, I know it doesn't imply the words on its own, but I kind of want to tie this with I can't remember what they call it, the Xbox Labs thing.
Design
the
Labs,
Series 3 controller. Yeah, I feel like we might see potential Series 3 controller with Design Labs updates. I'm indefinitely, I think that's something that we may well see, given that the recent Project Labs thing was kind of announced to be announced soon, I believe, on their recent trailers from a couple of days ago. And I feel like when it comes to new hardware like the controllers, they like to show this off on the big screen for a lot of the hardcore audiences to get their hands on it. So I feel like this might be in the green for me.
Do you think it will be part of the game showcase, though? Because I'm guessing this is going to be focusing more on games. Or do you think this might come as part of Jeff Keighley's kind of Summer Game Fest or even just a Twitter or something? What do we think?
Well, they call it a game showcase, but that's what they're always called, aren't they, effectively? They're not called a games and hardware showcase when there's hardware. I don't know. I think there's a high chance we may see something, if not the controller, then maybe something like a brief update on Project Labs, whatever it's called, perhaps.
Design Labs, yeah.
I get the feeling you don't agree, though.
I just don't know. I don't know if it would be at this June's showcase. I don't know. What do you think, Scott Luke?
Well, sorry, Stubbs has just said that he predicts a design website update instead is announced. But yeah, sorry, you have to go.
I think if we were maybe to just switch it to, if we maybe change it to something more vague, I know we can't physically change it, but if we consider maybe a controller something, whether that be an Elite Series 3 or maybe a controller revision, I would put it in maybe. Well, when I say controller revision, like we've maybe discussed in the past, Flap, are they going to announce a Wi-Fi controller for xCloud? Are they going to maybe revise it to add haptics like the PlayStation controller? Could we see something like that? There's more options there, and I'd be tempted to put it as maybe. Personally, I'm honestly not too sure.
I don't think we will. I think we're so close to the design of the Series X controller that for them to add haptics, I'd like it to happen. But for them to add haptics, a couple of years in, I just don't know. What do you think, Luke?
It's a bit of a hard one, I think. I honestly don't know. I genuinely don't know. I feel like it could be any one of those categories other than Keighley has it. So, don't know.
I'm thinking maybe then, because we're kind of almost combining controller with controller related stuff, such as the Design Labs refresh, right? And some word on that. So I think personally it's more comfortable to be a maybe, but
yeah, I think Design Labs, so they obviously shut the fact that you could order stuff from them because they got, an update coming and stuff. But yeah, perhaps we'll leave it in maybe then. We'll leave it in maybe. Okay, Scott.
Definitely Avowed.
Right, okay, that's a bit better. So you definitely, and what are we going to see of Avowed, do you think? Actual gameplay this time?
I think a significant gameplay trailer. And let me make a bold prediction, a very bold prediction. It's also coming out later this year. No, that's very unlikely.
What are you on about?
That's why they pushed Starfield. They were happy to push Starfield out because Avowed's coming later this year, Flap. So
okay, well,
that's obviously that's maybe a little too bold, but we'll definitely
it kind
see
of makes
Avowed.
sense, though.
Definitely see Avowed.
It does make sense.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. What do you think, Luke? Are you convinced Avowed's coming later this year?
No.
But
I do think we'll see it. Yeah.
We've got to, haven't we? We've got to at this point, surely. I'm quite excited
We've got it
for
at this
Avowed
point
as well.
because of the. Yeah. I think it should be. It could be really cool, and also, they won't have a fantasy RPG there, and I think so. It has a good little spot. Of its own.
Yeah, no fair dues. Okay.
Queshy reckons that Avowed might be years away, but I don't know if I agree with that.
I think that's next year at the latest. I'm pretty sure that's next year at the latest. It's already been in 4 years of development, I think. So I know I said later this year that was very bold. I don't really mean it, but I think it's no later than next year.
We'll call that the best case.
Yeah.
Okay. Luke, where are we going next?
I'll go with Persona on Xbox, and I'll put absolutely not.
Yeah. Got to find it. Where is it?
Second row in the middle.
Oh, right under. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, I guess so. What do you think, Scott?
Again, that'll be in a wishful thinking column. Rov, if we had it, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Any challenges, Pucks? Yeah.
No, I agree.
And to be honest, I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Stubbs or someone, but it's like, or was it? It might have been yourself, Scott. Actually, even if we do get Persona on Xbox, it's a bit late, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? No one's going to go and buy. Yeah, I can't believe anyone that's into Persona that only has an Xbox hasn't played it elsewhere, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine anyone's waiting for Persona to come on Xbox before they start playing it, if that's really your thing. So, like I say, that horse has already bolted, so yeah, seems a strange one to me.
Yes, well, on a similar thought then, Final Fantasy VII Remake on...
I was thinking the exact same
on
thing.
Xbox.
Yep.
What are you guys thinking? There was a little bit of news that came out.
There was a little bit of news.
Before you say that, Pucks, hold that thought.
Go on.
There was, I know it might be nothing. It probably most likely is nothing. But there was, Final Fantasy VII Remake was categorized as an exclusive to PlayStation on the PlayStation Store, and it seemingly disappeared from that category on the PlayStation Store. Does that change your mind at all, Pucks?
No, I think give it. I appreciate what you're saying. I guess you've got similar-ish games like Kingdom Hearts, which kind of then went a bit multi-platform. But I don't know. PlayStation seem to be honing in on their exclusivity of the whole franchise, especially with the new ones coming out. I just don't feel. I don't know if it was one of those games that people would buy a PlayStation for. I know it doesn't make much sense, but. I feel like it's a PlayStation game that PlayStation gamers would buy a PlayStation to play.
And not so much Xbox, you mean?
I feel like it's too little too late in a way. I mean, maybe people pick it up. I mean, to be fair, I say that. I tell a lie because I know I've got a PS4, but if I haven't got this game, if it did come to Xbox, I would definitely consider it. Just obviously because, the higher power, etc., etc. But I don't see it happening personally.
How about if it came to Game Pass? Imagine if they bagged it for Game Pass.
Oh, that won't happen, but that would be
hold on. Am I crazy for thinking if it comes to Xbox, it'll probably be in Game Pass?
Yeah, exactly.
I think
I think there's a chance. There's been a lot of Square Enix loves Game Pass books because Microsoft gives them money for it. Square Enix loves money more than anything, and Xbox will happily hand it over. They've had Kingdom Hearts, Outriders, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy game that's available on Xbox has been in Game Pass. 15, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not 15. 15 might be the exception, but 13.
That was 15
Lightning
one of those in the
Returns.
cars. Was it
Yes.
driving right? I believe that was for a period.
Oh,
it was on
yeah,
there.
well,
Yeah,
that
I
might,
thought 15
that
was
might
on
have been in as well. But Square Enix have been a pretty big fan of Game Pass, because Microsoft will happily just hand over a boatload of cash to put them in there. I actually think this is. I would put this in maybe personally.
Luke, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely not from my perspective. I just don't think that. I think Square Enix and Sony are trying to deepen that relationship across those kind of Final Fantasy in particular. And I think we probably would have seen it by now. It was rumored to be 2 years exclusive or something like that. So and
Just
that
a
was
year
quite
originally.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? And then it was rumored to be 2, and then that's kind of progressed on. So I just don't see it. I think Sony see it as kind of really important to their first party, almost in a weird way. So I can't see it.
I'm torn because I was with you, Scott. I've seen quite a few clips on the internet pushing this, and if it is coming to Xbox, then it probably will come into Game Pass. But will it in the first place? I don't know. It's a very I don't know.
I think the difference. I'm with Luke on this, in that I'm still, despite what's been said from Scott on that, which I agree with. Yes, money has been handed over, but I feel like Final Fantasy VII is a special case in that it's this cult classic game which is deemed like the best of all time for the hardcore Final Fantasy crowd, and this game, I don't know, I just feel like it's on a higher pedestal than just Final Fantasy 10 or 15, despite how good those games are. I just
10
feel
is
like
better than 7, just for the record. 10 is
I
better than 7.
I personally love 10, I agree. I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like it's got a big enough standing that this game won't come to...
I think...
Definitely not to Game Pass.
I think we're going to have to let the chat decide this one, and most people in the chat are saying that it's not coming. So I think we're going to have to put it there, Scott. But if it does, then me and you can just, give the told you so.
Bask in our insider knowledge.
Exactly.
Is it worth making a poll on this one, or do you just leave it to comment?
Well, everyone said that they don't think it's coming, to be honest. So.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's pretty unanimous.
There isn't much of a poll to be had, in all honesty. Anyone, if you're listening, please get involved in the chat. Let us know, because obviously, like you say, you are helping us shape where these things are going. So let's take a little bit of a stand back. So it's actually looking slightly better now than it was before, particularly around Project Midnight, if that's coming. It'd be nice to know what that's all about. Compulsion's game. Avowed, be nice to see some gameplay footage of that. And obviously, if Coalition, whatever their new project is, would be nice to get some sight on that. But everything else is pretty much kind of, I guess, what we'd expect so far. But
could we possibly be bold of another one, actually?
I don't know, it's my game.
Oh, sorry.
Let me go Outer Worlds 2, because
I misspelled it. The Outer World 2.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds 2. If we're seeing Avowed, are we going to see Outer World 2? And also, we've got Grounded in there as well. So, what do we think around Outer World 2?
I think we might see it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's super early. Plus, if they're showing Avowed's the project that's probably
that's going to sell the most as well, isn't it? Or yeah.
Yeah, and the furthest in development, apart from the smaller project potentially. So I think absolutely not.
Scott?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think out of the stuff that Obsidian are bringing, it'll be Avowed, and Outer Worlds 2 will be a little bit later.
Okay, Pux? You agree with it?
Yeah, a part of me thought, potentially maybe, but
what?
Yeah, I kind of agree that if we're going to be seeing potentially more of things like Avowed and stuff, then where's the time going to fit something more substantial for Outer Worlds 2? I mean, I don't know. Okay. I feel like it's maybe an orange, but
Well, I'm going to go again, and I'm going to go Grounded, and this will be the official launch, because obviously technically it's still in beta. I think this would be an easy one for them to show at the show, don't you? I think it's overdue launching officially, and like you say, it was only a sort of a side project that's kind of, well, I wouldn't say taken off, but a side project that hasn't fallen or collapsed, shall we say. So I would personally put that in definitely while we're there. Any challenges to that at all?
No, I don't think so.
That's
It's
fair.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like a 1 minute, 30 seconds. to 1 minute.
That seems
thing,
like a safe bet to me, basically. And there'll probably be some, once it goes full release, there'll be some new content in there and probably, I don't know, different game modes or something. I don't know, really. We played Grounded early on, Pucks, didn't we? We gave it a bit of a go, but I've got to be honest, I've not touched it since. So I think
I haven't either. I'm not really too fussed about it.
There was a very kind of loose story to it, but because it was a beta, you kind of come up against a brick wall at some point, and you couldn't get any further. So it was obviously a much bigger game than just the sort of the early release stuff. So I'm guessing there's a full blown story involved with it now. But that's quite a safe bet, that one. So we'll get that off the board. Pucks, what's next?
My potential bold one was going to be for the brand new first party IP to be in the green, but now that I think about it, I'm okay. I want to be bold and maybe say yes, we might see something brand new, because that's usually what these shows are for. Although that's not been the case every year, so potential maybe. I mean, there's loads that we have already been shown that haven't been released yet. So
can I just clarify? Is this a first party IP that obviously doesn't have a project name? That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's going to say that to not cheap out, obviously, because the Coalition, if they announce there's a Project Midnight, is technically a new IP, so it's something that we don't know anything about.
So a new project altogether, because there's still some studios left that don't seem to have any games aligned to them. Some of the smaller ones.
Well, that's been my other side of the thinking, that there are plenty of studios there which, as you just said it yourself, we don't know what's going on with them. So
Roundhouse,
be something new.
Was it Roundhouse? There's a few sort of fringe ones that are sort of, they must be doing something.
Yeah, Beast Mode 10's just said Roundhouse top secret IP apparently going on. So,
okay.
I'm gonna be bold, but I'm gonna say put it in green. But by all means, gents, deliberate.
Scott.
No, I'd agree with that.
Okay. Something brand new, no project name that no one knows anything about. Okay.
That's Luke, exciting, right?
Hopefully. I mean, that would be something to be excited about. What's your take on that?
Good. Fair chance. Okay. I don't know what it would be, but fair chance.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Well, I hope so. That's true. Scott, where are we going next?
We'll go with Contraband indefinitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. Obviously, they showed off that trailer. If Jez Gordon's to be believed, that was due to release as early as last year or even this year. So I think if that's the case, then it's far enough along. So I think we'll see something Contraband.
Alpha Dog was the other one, the other small studio that we've not heard anything about. But do you think we might actually see it this year then, Contraband?
Yeah. With the 2023 release date.
Oh, you don't think it will release this year? Okay.
Nah, I think 2023.
It's a 70s kind of heist game, isn't it? From what I gather.
I think that's. So. I don't know if they actually said it themselves, because they didn't give much away in the CG trailer, did they? Actually, no. I can't actually remember what it was.
I think it was Jez Gordon who talked about what the game actually is, and then the trailer kind of backed some of that up. There was images of heist plans.
I'm just looking at it now
and all that sort of stuff. So it was what as described.
Excellent. Okay, who's next? Luke, was it you next?
I think it's me. Yeah. I think absolutely not. Ghostwire Tokyo.
No, I agree. Yeah, for the reasons, obviously, it's still technically it's PlayStation exclusive at the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd completely agree with that. Scott, Pucks?
No, I agree with that. I would also argue that maybe Deathloop could follow suit still, personally.
No, see, I think Deathloop will be announced. I think I would personally put it in the maybe, because obviously I know technically it's still a PlayStation exclusive, but I think that's coming up fairly soon. Is that correct?
September.
I think it's September, and I don't know if they can talk about it until that expires, so I personally would put it in absolutely not.
Okay, no, fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stick it there then. You think that's more of a contractual thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
No, fair point. So the first they can talk about it is when they can actually launch it then? Is that going to kind of shadow drop then, do you think?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, it's an assumption to think that it will launch as soon as, day one.
Well, I'm wondering if they're actually going to use that to perhaps pad out their holiday games lineup.
I personally, I would expect it to come at the end, towards the end of this year or early next year, because I think it will just be something that's a good boost for Game Pass.
Do you think that could be a Keighley thing then? Could that be something that Keighley drops?
No, because I just don't think they can. I could be entirely wrong. I just don't think they will be able to talk about it until that contract's up.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as the contract's up, you'll get a very quick announcement and when it's coming and all that sort of stuff. But
when you say a Keighley thing, are you thinking Games Awards? So
like I say, we've kind of expanded what Keighley meant there, didn't we? It was going to be Summer Games Fest, but like you say, he has other events during the year. So perhaps if there's a Keighley event post September, but like you say, we're pretty much into Game Awards at that territory anyway, aren't we? Really? So yeah, and it's too late to announce it there if it's coming out for the holiday period. So okay. No, fair point. No, we'll stick it in. Absolutely not. Where did we get to? I can't remember who we got to.
It's yourself.
Is it me? Let's go.
I believe so.
We keep filling this absolutely not up, but there's quite a few I could put in the absolutely not. So let's go one that. How about Gear 6? What we're doing with Gear 6? We've got to do something with Gear 6. We've got Coalition's.
We'll do something.
Yeah, we've got Coalition's new project. Would they announce that and Gear 6 and potentially a Marcus
putting
Phoenix?
In some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to go?
I think
absolutely not with that.
Yeah, I think it would be absolutely not for me.
Yeah. Not that it's not in production, but it's just that it's perhaps too early to just discuss it, I guess.
Yeah.
Any challenges to that?
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I want to see it because I want to see what they're going to do with UE5. But like you say, I think we're going to have to wait for that. So, okay, doke. That was kind of an easy one, I guess. Pucks.
I'm going to pull out Ubisoft Classics as an option. And originally, I would have thought that there may have been a good chance, but seeing as the PlayStation Plus has almost nabbed this, I know it's not an exclusive necessarily, but usually of these things they kind of have like that time limited contractual obligation stuff going on. So I feel like that's a red for me. I don't think we're going to hear anything about Ubisoft Classics coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Even though we're starting to see Ubisoft games drop in Game Pass, like Origins with a next-gen patch or a now-gen patch.
Well, that's different. Seeing games come to Game Pass in isolation compared to the whole service of all of their IP coming, I think is two separate things, right? And I just don't... I don't think we will. I'm
okay, no, fair enough.
I think red for me on this one, just due to the whole PlayStation Plus stuff. But I'd be interested to know what you all think about it. And chat as well, of course.
I think it would be a maybe for me. I don't think the fact that it's going on the PlayStation Plus tiers necessarily rules it out from Game Pass, if I'm honest. But
bear in mind this is to do with is it announced at this showcase, right? So
they're obviously in a position to roll this out. If they are going to roll it out globally, like I say, if there is an exclusivity thing with PlayStation Plus, then obviously they can't. But the fact that it seems to be ready to go, and if it were going to be multi-plat, then now would be the time, I guess. But yeah, what do you think, Scott?
I think there's a chance it shows up a Ubisoft scissor reel. With these games going into Game Pass. What we've just had: Assassin's Creed Origins, the latest version of For Honor. So I think there's a good chance. I don't think PlayStation mentioned anything about it being exclusive when they announced Ubisoft Plus Classics. Ubisoft didn't even acknowledge it until very shortly afterwards. So I think there's a good chance it shows up here alongside like an official release date for Ubisoft Plus, possibly, because we know that's coming. We just don't know when. So maybe they have like a mini Ubisoft section, because Ubisoft aren't going to have anything this year, in terms of their own conference, as far as I'm aware, or at least nothing that they've announced. So yeah, I would put it in at least maybe.
Okay, doke. Yeah, you agree, Luke? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe. Okay. Scott, where are we going next?
Where are we going next? Pentiment, indefinitely. So this is what was the project name for Pentiment? This is the Josh Sawyer Obsidian.
Yeah.
Game that's meant to be a little bit smaller in scale. I can't remember its project name now. What was its project name?
I think it was Missouri or something.
Missouri, yes. Yeah. That's right. So I think this is obviously a game that they haven't even officially announced in any capacity. This is purely Jez Corden and Jeff Grubb, I believe. But this is meant to be the it's got no combat. It's more of a story-focused game along the lines of what game is it? Oh, I'm completely blanking on it at the moment. Someone help me out here, guys. That's the one, yeah. So I think that, thank you very much, Luke. So yeah, I think this will show up and probably come out this year. I think this will be a short announced to release window.
Okay. No challenges from me. Anyone else want to challenge that? I think that's pretty safe, to be honest.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, doke. Luke.
Okay. I think Project Dragon.
This is the IO.
I'm been on the fence of this one. I think this is super early from all accounts, like super duper early. So I'm more inclined to put it in that nice healthy red column that we've got going on. But I do think it could possibly slip into maybe. But I'm going to put it in the red. I mean, clearly if it is announced, it's a CG trailer. But it seems to me that it's so early that they're maybe just still figuring out the scope of this and what they want to call it and all of that stuff. So it would be a cool one to announce, though. I think if they have a chance to, even if it's just a CG thing.
How about a 5-second clip of just like a plain background, but the name, whatever the name of this game is actually going to be, kind of fades in and it just says IO afterwards. I mean, does that count as being at the show? Because I could see something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, because equally, I think if you got something that short, it would be almost pointless in that if it doesn't actually show anything about the game, like, because you can do kind of like a CG and have it convey aesthetics, themes, the type of environments you're going to be in. I think the name ones, those name drop ones where you literally have 5 seconds, a name and a studio, they only work for either established IP sequels or, things that people already know about. So, a sequel to God of War, you can do that for, or Gears 6, you could do it for, or stuff like that. Whereas a brand new IP, that's a bit low key anyway from IO, I don't know if you could do that kind of teaser for, which is, and if they have that, I don't think they should do it because there's just no point.
Yeah, I take your point. Like you say, you'd be left with just as many questions as you'd went in with, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So I take your point on that, but they are going to have to start converting a lot of these projects into games and titles of games as well, I guess. But perhaps, like you say, they do that on a slightly longer 20-second reel, like some CGI, a bit like they did with Contraband and stuff like that. And like you say, I take your point, so I think Elder Scrolls 6 kind of did that whole 5-second clip thing, didn't they? But like you say, it's obviously a very well-established IP and stuff. And as soon as you see Elder Scrolls, you know what you're going to get, I suppose. So.
And also, I mean, they did it for Starfield as well, although that came with, space, as it were. So you knew that was the general setting, and that was for a studio where everybody was wondering, what a Bethesda game studio is working on, because they obviously such a big name, such a high profile name. I'm not saying IO Interactive aren't, but they're clearly not as well known as or on the kind of scale of Bethesda game studios and Todd Howard, etc. So I think they could get away with that, particularly if they give a concept. But to be honest, if this game had a concept teaser like Starfield did, I think that would be enough. Even if it's just something short but conveys setting, then that would be fine. But I'm going to go not at this time. But I'd quite like to see announcement.
So I think from what we know so far, I did a bit of a look up on this. Obviously, it's by IO Interactive, but it's a Fantasy Dragon game apparently, and it's a game that's going to have years worth of support. So sounds like a live service type game, but that doesn't sound like IO's bag really. That kind of live service thing. I don't quite understand how it's going to be, but
I think live service is their bag. I mean, Hitman is a live service.
I think maybe it was almost described as a Destiny-like game, wasn't it? Which
Fantasy
I think
game,
is fair to say that's maybe not IO's bad. The live service element, absolutely, maybe just the multiplayer element is maybe the bit that's not their bag, I guess. But yeah, they've done live service with Hitman. I think they've done live service pretty well with Hitman as well. I think it's fair to say. So I'm in agreement. I think this is one I would like to be there just because I'm intrigued. But maybe on not necessarily Project Dragon. Where or when do you guys think the James Bond game is going to show up from IO? Do you think there's a chance that shows up here or Summer Games Fest, or not at all this year? But maybe a bit too soon.
I think
I'd be
it's
surprised.
too soon.
Yeah, I think it's in the red for me. That one.
Okay, look. Where did we get to? Was that yours, Luke? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go another red one, I'm afraid. I'm going to go with the Double Fine's new game. I don't think we're going to see that for a little while, if I'm honest. Any challenges on that at all?
No, I think that's a quick one. I think that's a no for me as well.
Yeah,
I'd put it there as well. I think it's a bit
I'll
too
be a
soon.
little different and say I think there's a very small chance.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Does that not mean no?
Well, it's maybe teetering on the edge of maybe for me.
And do you think it's Psychonauts related or something new?
No,
I
I think there was. Yeah, I think it was a surprise when we got Psychonauts 2. But I think they've spoken about the project that they're working on. I don't think it's a case of they only started working on whatever they're working on at the moment after Psychonauts 2. I think it'll be something a lot smaller than Psychonauts 2, whatever it is. Which is why I think there's maybe a very slim chance. I would really love to see whatever Double Fine are working on. I agree. Obviously, it's probably a bit too soon, but maybe there's a small chance. I'll put it out there.
Okay. Well, I think the majority vote is we're going to stick it there. Is that correct? Or
Oh yeah, I definitely got
okay.
outvoted on that one, but just to be different.
fair enough. Well, we're down to one line. Let's speed through these if we can. Pucks. What's next on the list?
Killer Instincts, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
shame.
Yeah, I don't think
the
you're going to
game
get
had
too
its-
much of a challenge with that.
No, I think it had
Put
its
the gold
chance in
paywall in there as
2013.
well.
Yeah, it had its chance with the reboot, and I think it basically flopped commercially for the most part, at least from public opinion. So, I don't expect we'll see that anytime soon.
So, gold paywall. Is that here to stay forever? Because the bloody games for gold, they're just not very good, I guess. And now that there are these other tiers of Project Spartacus or the PlayStation Plus tiers, you can pitch the lowest tier of PlayStation Plus directly against gold. And the games that you get in PlayStation Plus compared to gold are obviously much better. I think God of War's coming to June's games on PlayStation Plus. I think the best game out of this month's games for gold is probably Super Meat Boy. Do you think that's here to stay forever, this gold paywall, or do you think they will actually drop it at some point?
I've always said there'll be a tipping point with Game Pass. And once that tipping point is more in Game Pass's favour, at that point, I think it gets
dropped to
rolled
there.
in.
But you don't think we're there
there's
yet?
maybe a year or two. No, I think what Gold probably has, I would argue, between 40 and 50 million subscribers, and Game Pass has, 25? That's just based on, I think Xbox Live has, 100, 110 million monthly active users, but that includes mobile and PC. So, yeah, maybe 40 to 50 million.
We actually mentioned on the last show, I don't think he was there, Scott, that obviously, Game Pass subscribers can go down as well as up. And obviously, with lots of games being delayed till next year and stuff, and there was obviously the controversy around Twitter and people saying, I'm going to drop my Game Pass subscription until after the game showcase, if something, if it's worth going back to. So, yeah, it makes you wonder how and where that tipping point's going to be, and whether it is a consistent tipping point, if that makes sense. But I think it's safe to put it there, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, Luke, what we got next?
I'm gonna go Project Cobalt, and I'm gonna put this indefinitely.
Oh, this is In Exile's fantasy RPG,
I think it's
action RPG,
First-person shooter.
Steampunk.
Oh, it's a first-person shooter.
Potentially, yeah.
Yes, first-person
Yes.
shooter RPG. Yes, steampunk style. That's it. I'll look these up earlier.
Yeah, I think it's probably about time for them to announce this. So
Okay.
it seems like they've got a good concept for it. It's been in development for a fair bit. I don't think it's coming out anytime soon, but again, some sort of teaser would be cool, and I'd really like to see it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would challenge that in any way, Pucks.
No, I think it. Yeah, why not? Let's be bold with it. Although some people in chat are saying that it's probably definitely not, though.
Oh, really?
I don't think. I don't think you. You can't say
maybe.
either way. It's definitely maybe absolutely not, isn't it? Like it's a very difficult one to call. I think you could conceivably put it in any of those categories. I'm just going to be a bit bold and say
let's leave it there.
I think considering how much we've got in the red in comparison.
It's on the wishful list behind the scenes.
But don't. I mean, the thing about this red, and there is a lot of red and stuff, but that just goes to show. All of those things that are in the red, or the vast majority of them, are things that are coming at some point. It's just that now's not the time to show those. So it does, it does demonstrate that obviously Xbox and the future is relatively rosy, shall we say? We'll probably be falling back on the wait till E3 next year.
Yeah. One day the Xbox will have games.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
The meme will be
Yeah.
and I think what's probably worth mentioning is obviously we're focusing very much on first party here. Like pretty much everything in here is first party, with the exception of like one or two things. There's going to be a lot of third party stuff at this show. I've got absolutely no doubt about it, which is obviously going to fill some of that runtime as well.
Let's go with that now then, shall we? Let's do the AAA third party banger for Game Pass day and date, shall we? What do we think?
Yeah, maybe putting AAA banger was maybe the wrong phrase. There'll be something third party in Game Pass day and date.
Yeah, I suppose AAA banger, like you say, is a bit misleading. But like you say, something...
Being a bit flippant with the words.
Yeah. Where do we think? I mean, that's surely something's got to pop up, isn't it? They've got to say, they've got to draft in a day and date non-first party game into Game Pass. Surely is that a definitely? Or is it a maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I think let's set the bar at Outriders. Now I know you wouldn't necessarily describe that as a AAA banger, but it's a game from a publisher the size of Square Enix. I think that's sort of level. I think let's categorize it as that.
They were aiming for it to be a AAA banger. It just didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott. Sorry, I kind of pinched that one off of you. Go on, pick another one, mate.
Okay. We haven't got too much left, so I don't think Project Mara is going to be there.
No. So
actually, no. Hold on, Project Mara. So if Hellblade's not there, I think maybe Project Mara is there. I think Ninja Theory might show something.
Really, we'd see Project Mara
maybe they show
over
something.
Hellblade.
No, I think the way that you phrase it there, though, makes it. I think there would be a specific reason for it, because they're saving Hellblade for a later show. But if they're going to reveal a little bit more about Project Mara, it's probably more absolutely not than anything. But maybe there's a chance.
So we have seen some. I want to say CG, but I don't think it is CG, is it? Wasn't it in-game UE5 demo or something that looked just phenomenal? It was like a staircase. It was inside a house, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like an in-engine.
Yeah, it looked phenomenal.
Demonstration.
I'm not convinced. What do you think, Luke?
I'm not. I'm really not sure. I'd put it on maybe. Maybe. I think maybe. Again, if they're not showing Hellblade and Ninja Theory are going to be there, then then this is what they show a little bit of. But equally, it's a very experimental title, so I don't know what you would show on stuff like that. So yeah, I'll put it maybe.
I think that's brave, but fair enough. Pucks, do you agree?
Yeah, I think I do in a way. I think it sits more in the maybe than the absolutely not for me.
Okay, no, fair enough. And yeah, well, like you say, Randall did say everyone, all of the studios had submitted something for this show. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to get used. I mean, I guess, to be honest, the vast majority of studios do try and submit stuff, but like you say, not all of it's going to make the grade. But like you say, if Hellblade 2 is being saved for a different time, then perhaps Project Mara is the time to show that, and perhaps not have Hellblade steal that thunder in terms of Ninja Theory's kind of content, I suppose. So, interesting.
Remember, Hellblade was made with about 15 people or something.
First one.
It was a really small team. So those guys have shown that they can make a bloody good game with a pretty small team as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'd be interesting to have that fleshed out because, like you say, it was just that sort of that build-in with a staircase. I think it was another room as well, and the lighting was fantastic. It looked amazing, but be interesting to see what that's all about. Luke, what's next?
It's getting pretty hard now, isn't it? I don't know. I'll be a bit bold. We'll go Wolfenstein 3, and we'll go definitely.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, kind of works,
Yeah,
I suppose.
I think if Machine Games are there, that's what they're showing.
It would be there for me, I think. Yeah, definitely, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be. Yeah, I think that would be fair.
Okay. Any challenges to that one?
No. Indy agrees with Luke in chat as well. I think Indy said Wolfenstein 3, good chance, I reckon. Yeah. And we all know Indy's a man of fine tastes. So.
Andrew Cullinane in chat is just you're about to say it, I think.
It's a 90-minute show. Yeah.
They've not said. Yeah. They normally clock in. But also, I think Beast Mode mentioned they generally show 25 to 39 games, very specific with the 39. But he says we've covered 15 all first party. I think, that's fair. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of third party in this as well, isn't there? Or at least you would expect and hope.
Okay. I'm going to go State of Decay 3, absolutely not there. It's run into some issues recently. I can't remember who's making State of Decay 3. What's the studio?
Undead.
Undead. Yeah. I'd be surprised if we see it there. Any challenges to that?
No, I personally think the same. Yeah.
Yeah. I think unlikely given.
Given the circumstances,
the context, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
Right, Pucks, we're getting there. 5 left. Where we going next, Pucks?
I'm going to put Project Indus in maybe, which I suppose just for everyone else, this is the kind of Civilization-like strategy game that was revealed a year or so ago, and I think similar to Project Mara in the way it's one of those ones where it's a very bit of a smaller IP, I guess. But one that may or may not be there, perhaps in a scissor reel or something. I don't know, but I think it's a maybe chance that we'll see something.
Okay,
much more to say.
So we don't know nothing about it really, do we? So there isn't too much to say. I know it's Oxide Games, I think that's by. But okay, Scott, where are we going next?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I'm going to put that as Keeley has it.
Yeah. That's where I'd have put it.
Might not necessarily be Summer Games Fest because it's not until 2023, but maybe Game Awards or the Gamescom.
Is it a bit too soon to see more about it? Because it's only just kind of been announced and we've seen some bits anyway, haven't we? So it's a bit too soon to see more, isn't it?
Maybe. I think that there's possibly a chance. I guess it depends on when they're looking to release. If it's early next year, they've only said 2023, haven't they? So if it's early next year, then maybe it's not too soon. But I think Keeley probably has that because EA aren't doing their own thing. So yeah. But there's a chance it shows up at Xbox. To be fair, I think.
Excellent. Okie doke. Luke, where are we going next?
Let's go Stalker 2.
Oh, that's where I was going.
I think this is obviously because of the world situation. This is actually a really difficult one. So I think it kind of straddles that absolutely not / maybe appearance, depending on what what GSC have been able to do kind of prior to the conflict, and now again as they've kind of got development back up and running. So not quite sure on it. I'd lean towards maybe not. But
it was due a December release this year, wasn't it? I think
something like it was quote unquote due.
It was in the Xbox. That's been in the Xbox Game Store for a very long time. I think for a December the 8th release or something like that. It's been in there.
April.
Was it?
It was originally announced as an April release date.
Yeah.
It's been available to preload on Game Pass since
I remember
last year.
It's always in that upcoming games section, and Stalker 2 is always the last one on the list because, like I say, I'm sure it was due December this year. Obviously, that's changed now. But yeah, it just makes you wonder how far out they've had to push it, I guess. And like you say, is the studio actually in Ukraine? I believe it is, isn't it, or was? They've had to relocate, I think.
I think they have publicly commented that they've resumed development since.
It just makes me wonder how, obviously, it's obviously affected them in a great many ways, but it's probably pushed out the game a fair way, I should think, sadly enough. But to be honest, I guess I'd agree that it could be a maybe. Any challenges to that? Take your silence as an agreement. Okie doke. Is that me next? I'm gonna go with Ash's Xbox kart racer
keep that one
game.
to last.
Shall we? Oh, where's it gone? All right, we'll keep that till last. All right, let's go with GoldenEye then. I don't really know about GoldenEye. What do we think? Are we going to see it there? Is that a maybe?
I don't think we'll see GoldenEye this time around.
You think that's an absolutely not?
I'm thinking, but no. I instinctively think no, not now. Maybe later at a different showcase. Maybe Keeley has it. I'm not sure.
Scott?
I'd put it as a maybe personally, straddling between maybe and absolutely not. I think it's not really something for this type of showcase is probably the argument I'd make. I think if it's coming, it'll drop into Game Pass, and it'll be a cool little thing for people to check out. But do you really announce a GoldenEye port for the Xbox at a showcase alongside Starfield and Redfall and all these other games? I know it's got some nostalgia about it, but I just don't think it's for this type of show. So personally, I wouldn't expect it.
Beast Mode's made quite a good observation. Yeah, he thinks it should go in Keeley since a joint Xbox and Nintendo game. What do you think?
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Luke, where are we with this?
Yeah, I think Keeley has it. If it's being announced soon.
Right, well, that brings us to, like you say, the last one, Ash's genius Xbox kart racing game. Now, what would that look like? Who would be in that kart racing game?
Well, you'd obviously have Marcus Phoenix in there, right?
Oh, it's Master Chief, Doomslayer, I guess.
A car from Forza within a car to represent that game.
Wow, that's quite deep. Inception, yeah, okay. Yeah, you could have Banjo.
Dishonored character.
Yeah,
Joanna Dark. Just looking at these, Banjo and Kazooie.
Doomslayer.
Yeah, Doomslayer.
So, where are we going to put this?
Definitely.
It's got to be
definitely.
That's got to be our outlier. That's got to be our.
That's what they close the show with, obviously. That's the big show closer.
Oh, when you look, if they did though, imagine if they did.
Imagine the surprise when that's actually on there. Yeah,
yeah.
We get to take it off.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. That is our list. I think it ended up better than it kind of started, I guess. I mean, if we take these definitelys as being, definitely going to be there, would we be happy with that? I guess I would on some level. Looking at the absolutely not, there's still a lot more to come, I guess. But, interesting lineup. What do you think?
I'm personally not... Well, there's some exciting stuff coming, definitely. I don't think it's super blow everyone away type content, though, because most of it we already know about. But then again, we have put the brand new IP / potential AAA third party coming to Game Pass. And if they do come out, I mean, we all love new IPs, right? So they're always something to get excited about, depending what they are. And anything coming to Game Pass that's AAA, I think, is a bonus as well.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Scott, do you think we got that about right? It kind of feels like we've got it about right, if I'm honest. If Xbox were to show this, that would seem about right to me, I think.
Yeah, I think especially when you consider there's going to be surprises that we haven't considered. There's going to be an absolute boatload, well, maybe not a boatload, but there's going to be a number of indie games that are probably going to look really cool and a significant third-party presence as well. And you look at some of the stuff in Absolutely Not, and Keeley has it. There's a chance that those do show up at the show. Obviously, these are just our opinions, and even if you look beyond this showcase, the stuff that we've gone Absolutely Not, like Fable and Perfect Dark, it might not be this showcase, but it's stuff to be excited for in the future. So yeah, really looking forward to the show. Yeah,
no, me too. And obviously, Luke, we're doing the post show with Boxenberg. We'll take this list along with us. Hopefully there's some obvious ones in there. Obviously, Starfield, Redfall, Forza, both Motorsport and Horizon DLC. I mean, and Sea of Thieves are all pretty obvious, aren't they? But there's a few outliers in there, isn't there? I'd be quite excited to see some of these projects actually turn into real games with real sort of footage and stuff that we can see. It's still worth getting excited about, I guess.
Yeah, I think I think if that was the show plus the indie stuff plus third party, then I'd be to be honest, I'd be pretty happy with that. But then things like Wolfenstein, I'd be excited for. Seeing Avowed, for example, would be really excited for. Obviously, more of Starfield. So it would kind of get there for me in terms of being a good show. I'm just let's see how Nostradamus-esque we were after Boxenberger's show.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We could be the prophets, the Xbox prophets. And as Xbox fans, like I say, the whole meme is, wait till next E3 and stuff. And I think, with the amount of stuff in Absolutely Not, it does temper your sort of expectations and stuff, because there is lots of stuff there. I'd love to see Gears 6 there. I'd love to see Elder Scrolls 6 there, Indiana Jones, but I just don't think they're going to be. So like you say, you do need to temper your expectations and stuff. And the stuff that we think definitely will be there is still quite exciting, particularly around the stuff that we don't know. As much as we haven't seen much about Starfield and Redfall, they are so in sort of in the common sort of press at the moment that I'm almost bored with them in some regard. I know that sounds crazy; they're not even released yet. I'm almost bored of hearing about them. I think that's probably accurate. But there's lots of stuff in there that still seems very new to me. I'm really excited for Avowed. That would be pretty cool. That seems like a game that's right up my street. And like I say, some of these other project games, so it's pretty cool. Just before we sign off, chat, thank you very much. Been very active on the chat. There were some things that we missed. I think there was a couple of in there. I think someone mentioned about Call of Duty. That's absolutely not going to be there, I don't believe, mainly from the marketing deal that obviously still sits with PlayStation at the moment. So I don't think that will be there. Someone said about Viva Pinata. Again, who would make that? I mean, Rare wouldn't make that, I'm guessing. Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. Oh, obviously, like I say, before we sign off, we do have the PlayStation State of Play later today. I think it's kind of been leaked. How true that is, I don't know. It does look like it's obviously going to be quite heavily PSVR 2 focused, which isn't a bad thing for me because I love VR games and stuff. Panel, any thoughts on what we've seen in the leak so far? Any expectations? I think Indy mentioned earlier, do you think we might see Stray? I don't think that was on the list that was leaked, but again, it was a leak. We never really know how accurate it's going to be. But what do we expect from the PlayStation State of Play later? Any predictions while we're there?
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
just about to
yeah.
say that. Yeah, I think Final
Sorry,
Fantasy
Luke.
16. No. But that's bang on the money. I think that should be there. Probably some indies. Stray would be a good one for release date, especially. Probably something from Capcom. Probably Street Fighter, for example. And
Forsaken?
Forspoken.
No, Forspoken, sorry.
I hope not at the minute, because that's getting to Deathloop levels of annoyance on shows at the moment. So that needs to go dark for a bit, I think, and just progress to launch and have a trailer cluster at a time.
Okay.
But yeah, it may actually be there, because it's getting to the Deathloop level of contractual obligation to be on all these shows seemingly. So
do you think we're going to get a release date and price out of tonight's show? Because I'm not convinced we are. But
for
sorry, the PSVR 2.
Oh yeah, no. I don't think we'll get that. They've said that they're going to show some VR2 stuff, haven't they? Which I'm really excited for, actually. But I don't think we'll get price or release date or anything like that. I think they'll keep that fluid until close to the time.
I ran a poll.
They have mentioned. Sorry, go on, Flo.
No, go on.
I was just going to say they have said they're going to show the Horizon VR game. We know that at least.
Yes.
And just to maybe someone mentioned in the chat, I think those leaks, Flap, I think they're just those fake Twitter bollocks
just
things with that.
fake
They've been
shit.
memed to death as well.
Quite
I don't know if you've seen, but also Nvidia are saying watch the show, which I suspect maybe means something PC,
Nvidia,
PlayStation, PC related.
Yeah. They tweeted, and I actually browsed Twitter a couple of minutes ago, and I saw some very, and I don't know why anyone would fake these. They look very convincing, but some screenshots of basically graphics options for Returnal and Sackboy. So it seems like those ports are potentially imminent. And could maybe have an announcement tonight. So,
fantastic. Well, I did run a poll around whether we would see Half-Life Alyx get ported over to the PSVR 2. I know it's something you'd like to see, Luke. A bit 50-50, really. People were saying, obviously, Gabe Newell not a massive PlayStation fan. He's not a massive console fan, I guess. But, what do you think?
Go on. Can I add one more thing separate to that? Because, Half-Life Alyx is one of these ones which has definitely been supposedly leaked, as definitely being revealed. I mean, I can see it happening personally, because Alex has done very well in the VR space, and why would you not bring it to a platform where you've got a lot of people with, you want more people to get consoles once they can get them, but people want them is the point. But by an extension of that as well, it sounds a bit bizarre, but apparently, according to some prominent COD or Call of Duty insider, Modern Warfare 2, the game coming out later this year, is apparently going to have some sort of exclusive PSVR 2 mode built into it, whatever the hell that means. So if something is revealed regarding Call of Duty and VR, then that will be very interesting.
That would be very interesting, because obviously VR2 is a future technology, and like you say, it's something that Xbox certainly don't have. And obviously, if the deal goes through, then there would be something very specific for PlayStation users that obviously Xbox users don't from a potentially owned Xbox studio or publisher. It's interesting that. But sorry, Luke, we'll round off with yourself, mate. Yeah, anything else that you want? Do you think Half-Life Alyx will? I mean, it's obviously a system seller, surely. So PlayStation would obviously want it. I guess it's just whether Valve want to port it over. But like Puck says, I mean, it's gonna shift some units, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be a bit surprised if they didn't, really. I don't think it would be an enormous amount of work for them.
No.
And it would be a great title to have, in the launch window of PSVR 2. I don't think we'll get an announcement of it tonight, although I'd like one. But I do think it will come eventually to the platform. I mean, it has all the tech capability to be able to run that game at a higher level. So I'd hope so.
Well, hopefully we'll know soon. Is it 11 o'clock UK time? So is that less than an hour?
Yep.
So yeah.
Before we close off, can I just say something unrelated to the show? So chat, or mods, I should say. I think I've seen some chat about, as a joke, someone was blocked or something potentially by accident. I personally think I appreciate if you don't use those powers in those kind of ways, please, because I don't want to annoy people in the chat. Everyone's meant to be involved in this community fairly. So whether something is a joke or not, I'd appreciate you don't use those powers for those reasons. Otherwise, we'll just have to revoke those mod rights for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, fair point.
Apologies to bring on a down note, but I think
that's
it's
fine.
important.
Well,
to
I've been
said,
keeping an
people
eye
not
on the
reading.
chat, but no, that's fair enough. But yeah, let's respect the rules if we can. Like I say, it's very difficult to run these shows because, like you say, we've all got so many plates spinning, and we need to tune into what everyone is saying. Keep an eye on the chat. Run this. It's difficult. So yeah, we do have the mods there for a particular reason. But on that note, thank you very much. We will take this list to our post showcase show with Boxenberger on the 12th. Chat, thank you very much for being here. I've seen a few new names in the chat as well. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Green Pass Gaming. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. That would be fantastic. Business will probably be resumed next week. In fact, we got one more show before the Xbox showcase. What we'll probably try and do is not really discuss the showcase too much, because I'm sure every other podcast will be doing that. So we'll probably try and find something else to do, just so we can kind of coast into the game showcase afresh, as it were. And then we're going to do the post show with Boxenberger straight after that. So keep your eye on the socials for all of that. But once again, thank you everyone for being here. GPG Crew, thank you for putting that list together. Like I say, I think that looks about right to me. I think we've done a pretty good job there. It will be interesting to see how this actually pans out and how correct and accurate we are. So we might have to score ourselves on that point. So thank you very much for being here. Like I say, chat, thank you for being here. If you're in the UK, enjoy the rest of the weekend and your day off tomorrow if you're lucky enough to have a bank holiday tomorrow. If you're working, then you have my commiserations. But hopefully you have a good day. Safe gaming, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.